And welcome back, family, to Marriage or Hell Nah. Let me just start out by saying happy Friday, fellas. You guys have made it to the end of the week. And I know you guys been grinding as always, putting in your 60 hours a week, I hope. Even me. I get out there and I work, and I come back here to make these videos so that way we can be able to talk as a community about the foolishness that goes on in these modern relationships. Now, in today's video, I'm going to slow things down a little bit. The reason being is that we've recently started picking up new subscribers who may not know my journey, the reason why I started this channel, anything about this community. So let me just break it down for you. On this channel, we cover Reddit topics that have a lot to do with relationships, marriages, divorce, cheating, infidelity stories. I've been through some of these situations, and I know a lot of other men have been through some of these situations. But also my personal journey involves a man who is now in his 40s, but I started making good money, I probably would say, and I mean good money, I'm talking like 80,000. I wasn't really making a whole bunch of money before, but in my early 30s to mid 30s. But I started realizing when I was making a little bit more money and kind of coming up in the world that I started getting a lot of attention from women that I really didn't get earlier on. Now, I always been sort of good with the ladies, but no ladies, man, no excellent charm or anything like that. But I found it odd that a lot of women just started choosing me in my early 30s and even to this day. But I only realized that information is because now that I'm doing good, them chicks who didn't want me before, now they all up on me. Shout out to Mike Jones. But as I'm continuing on in my journey, I often meet women and, we have fun and I think that they might be compatible with me. But I always ask that question, why do men get married? And that's really what this channel is about. A man who now has a little something to offer a woman, but you got to find that nice woman, that good woman that you're looking for to possibly build with. And prior to making this channel, I probably was at around 50% considering marriage. Now that I've made this channel and I found out a little bit more facts from doing my own due diligence, as well as listening to other content creators, I know I'm now at 20%. So I say all that to say is that we help men to learn lessons about what possibly can happen in relationships and marriages, but also to be able to build a community where men can be able to talk and share their experiences. Now, shout out to all my day one subscribers as always, and everybody that continues to show love to the channel. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. It's not going to cost you anything, but I guarantee you're going to get some entertainment as well as some education. But also follow me on the other social media platforms that are located down there in the description box, because I got the Twitter, I got the Facebook now. We're going to start some Facebook groups. I'm about to open up the call line. So we got a lot of good things going on. And I really appreciate all of you guys for liking the videos, sharing the videos, to make sure that we stay in the algorithm, but also to keep the message going. Now, with all of that being said, today, fellas, remember, I'm asking the question, why do men sign up to get married? And in this particular story time, we got a man who decided to walk a woman down the aisle, make her a wife, and then as that marriage wheel kept turning and turning, she decided that she want to be out here thottying it up. For all the ladies that be tuning into the channel, I don't know why y'all over here, first of all, because this is a man's channel, unless y'all just want to report me and flag me and all of that type of stuff. But yesterday I did a video for good women, and I told you today I'm going to be out here talking about these thotty ass women that be doing good men dirty. But what you come to realize, fellas, is you really got to ask the question, why do men put up with such foolishness? Without further ado, let's get into today's story time. Now, the title of this post is Wife Cheated, Next Steps. He starts off, hello, I've been a lurker here for a little while trying to process infidelity in my life. Long story short, wife and I have been married 8 years, 12 years together, and we have 2 small kids. This year has been tough, and we have had our arguments, but nothing that I would ever think would push my wife to cheat. Anyways, I've noticed her being distant and uncommunicative and decided to confront her one evening. At the time, she said that she was not happy and couldn't feel a spark anymore. She pulled the "I'm not happy" card. At first, I freaked out on myself, thinking I was being a non attentive husband, truthfully an issue. However, the next day I caught a strange message on her phone that was extremely lovey dovey. I took a look and found my wife was messaging a man for a long time with lots of "I love you" and plans for a future together. I was fucking destroyed. Anyways, taking the advice of many on the thread here, I didn't confront initially. I actually read as much as I could, contacted a couple of lawyers for advice, one now on retainer, and I got my head on straight and calm. I confronted my wife a couple of days ago calmly and asked if she was having an affair, and after a couple of minutes, she admitted everything. Long story short, it has been going on for 6 months, and she claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Complete bullshit, but whatever. I second that, bro. So you could see that this man is going through all of these frustrations. He notices that something is wrong in the relationship. She's getting distant, like she's detaching herself really from the relationship, kind of going on quiet mode, if you will. And he finds out in that particular moment that something is wrong. And as he starts to make his way over to her, because he can no longer take the fact that she's being quiet and he knows something's up, he finds out that not only was she seeing someone else, she was seeing someone else for 6 months, and she claims it was her deepest connection emotionally ever. Fellas, we already know. That's the reason why they call it physical affairs, emotional affairs. But usually, a lot of times when women get really attached to another man, it could be just a beta male who's in the friend zone or somebody who's an orbiter. That stuff is detrimental to your relationship, your marriage, whatever. And when you marry these types of women, they don't act like this in the beginning. But over the course of time, as that wheel turns, you start to see sides of them that you never thought you was going to see when you signed that contract and walked them down that aisle. To end it all, I gave my list of boundaries: cut off contact, marriage counseling, etc. The thing that I think is the final nail of an honest attempt to reconcile is she got extremely aggravated with cutting off contact, especially when I told her to do it in front of me and even insisted to see him one last time for closure. I fucking held my ground and told her if he is so important, pack a bag and go live with him, to which she backed off, but not before she told me I was a controlling asshole. Anyways, she sent me a text this morning and showed me, but my spidey senses seem to think she will try a different means of communication. Smart move. They don't never give up, bro. Well, just because you think that they're going to stop doing something because you told them that that was going to be the end of the relationship if they didn't do it, they're going to try another sneaky way to accomplish whatever they think they want to accomplish. And she thinks she want to accomplish getting in them sheets with someone other than her husband. So she will try something else. But notice that his Jiminy Cricket told him what was going on. The same Jiminy Cricket or the same spidey senses that informed him that something was wrong to begin with. Trust your senses, fellas. I'm thinking there is no hope, and honestly, I don't want to at this point, but I just wanted to be able to tell my kids in 20 years, at least I tried. And that's what most men do. We have marriage counseling tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's time to file before wasting any time or grief. I'm cautious to move too fast because of my kids, but is this the right way to do it? Now, fellas, it's time to get into some of these comments. The first man steps up and he chimes in, reiterating something that the original poster mentioned. I took a look and then found my wife was messaging a man for a long time with lots of I love yous and plans for a future together. She claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Your wife did not hide her relationship and emotional state. Your relationship will be lived in secret. Your wife doesn't want to leave the affair partner. Inform him and send the messages you requested. I think he meant to say send there as opposed to send. Communication continues on the second phone or at work. I'm assuming affair partner is his coworker. Why did he think that? Now, most of you fellas already know if you've been tuned into this channel and you know the way I break things down as far as these Reddit topics. When women cheat, especially women that are in marriages and women that are in long-term relationships, a lot of times they tend to cheat with the same two people. One is an ex-boyfriend or ex-lover that they had because that ex-lover, has that type of physical connection that he built in with her, that he built up with her. But then also she might be imprinted by that guy. Who the hell knows? That man can simply reach out to her if he's getting lonely and if she's kind of feeling like she's being neglected. And most of the time they make this shit up in their head. What they'll do is they'll accept that invitation from the ex-boyfriend and then they'll act on it. Then the other case tends to be the work bae or the work husband, if you will. This is somebody that they work with, that they act like they're cool with. They start talking, they start building an emotional connection. Then all of a sudden, she gets this urge to say, I feel like he just understands me. And usually, this is the guy who she doesn't want to be with long term. She just wants to have a little bit of fun with. But usually, that man is just there to fulfill a role. The point I'm trying to make is dudes who do that and they want to be orbiters, they want to be lurkers, if you will. Like, I don't respect shit like that, but I understand that it happens. But this is the reason why a lot of guys in their relationships, they either say, look, no male friends, or they go with an approach to say, look, if you want to have male friends, that's fine. You just won't be with me. Now, the original poster follows up and he goes, not a direct coworker, but someone she interacts with in an outside company in her industry. But I agree, this is going to likely continue by other means, which just means it is time to rip the band-aid off. 54 upvotes on that. Now another man chimes in and he goes, see him one last time? She really is in La La Land. To which the original poster came back and said, I fucking nearly lost it, but kept my cool and said, I'm not the one who made the choice to destroy this family. So you can either abide by my boundary or leave, AKA hit the road, sis. Pack your bags. Time to go. She didn't leave. Likely, as someone said, the communication will go underground, but I still have my way to find out. And just when you thought the story was ending right there, he gave us an update. Let's get into it. The past few weeks, simply put, have sucked, but it's given me time for a lot of soul searching and thinking. As an update from the previous thread, the wife and I did attend some counseling after the initial confrontation. And I will say that this particular counselor has been very good about listening to the both of us and not assigning blame or anything like that and helping to navigate our new reality. She has also helped to uncover some structural issues in our relationship. And while that doesn't at all excuse my wife's behavior, it's helpful at least knowing for a future relationship and not repeating the same mistakes. As also mentioned in the thread, my wife's initial reaction to my boundary to cut off contact with the affair partner appeared to go unheeded, and I did catch some small messages between them before she completely went dark with her chats and calls. After seeing that, I decided to file, and she has been served a few days ago and in peril. I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my father-in-law as we are super close, and I needed to prioritize the support for our kids versus our relationship, as I could see my wife wanted to sweep this under the rug. Needless to say, my wife was initially extremely upset, but our therapist did talk it through with her from my point of view on why this needed to happen. And I think she is starting to realize the consequences of her actions and start to see there are real things that are going to be lost, meaning that that security blanket will be removed. Here on out, I'm trying to process the new life ahead of a huge change in my identity from a father, husband to something else. Same with her. I will say, since I filed, my wife has been extremely shocked when I dropped that on her, and she has been very emotional these past few days. I honestly think she thought I would never be able to walk away. Shout out to you, man, for getting the courage to finally walk away from a situation that's detrimental to your mindset as well as your overall health. Sometimes when you're dealing with a affair, an infidelity issue in your marriage, even in your relationships, when you're dealing with these thotty ass women, it can take a toll on you. And you start to realize what is the opportunity cost of dealing with her and being in this bad situation as opposed to just moving on. I have kept her at arm's length, but I have seen a change in her. And on a positive note, we have talked more, kept our conversation civil, and focused on our shared priorities, which are the children. I made it very clear to her that she left a huge wound on me and she has to do the heavy lifting to help repair and give me space and time if I can ever begin to forgive. I'll say it again and again. Her actions are the most selfish, self-centered, horrible thing you could do to a person, but I have not lost sight that we still need to raise our children and that my focus as I navigate how to move to the next phase of my personal happiness. Now, fellas, we're going to dive into some of these comments that the brothers wanted to chime in on his update. I am very dry proud of your progress. You stuck it out and exhausted that route. Yes, she was in a deep affair fog, but she not only broke your boundaries, but also your heart when she told you he was the deepest emotional connection she had. My only advice to you is that you stay the course, at least until the divorce. Afterwards, if you want to reconcile and you feel it's the right path, then go ahead. But if you don't divorce her and you take her back, she and your children will understand that there are some actions that don't have consequences. Again, well done. We are all very proud of you. 51 upvotes on that. In closing, fellas, if you're looking at the image that you're seeing on the screen right now, you see that smile on his face? That smile is on his face is because he's in a peaceful environment that he enjoys, that gives him a sense of accomplishment. But when you are dealing with some of these women who choose to go out there and ruin perfectly good situations, it will be enough to drive you crazy. So I ask you again, guys, why do men choose to get married in the year 2022? Somebody out there, please let me know. Now, I'm not against marriage, but I think that you need to properly vet a woman, and that takes time like none other. Because the last thing you want to do is sign that marriage contract, walk her down that aisle, and then all of a sudden, the promises that she made to you are no longer acceptable. And she now wants to move the goalposts to be able to do whatever the hell it is that she wants to do, even though she originally agreed to be with you. And fellas, we already know when men get married, they get married for two reasons and two reasons only. One is to start a family, and the second one is for exclusive access to the juicy, to the box, which is between her legs. But once she decides to give that away to somebody, you no longer should be committed to this person, because your commitment is what gave her that safety net, that blanket, that cushion, because you're the one that goes out there and puts in all the hard work and does everything to keep the family afloat. But if she's going to sit up here and be opening her legs for somebody else, you have full ability, full authority to let her know that she is now put on notice. And if she got a problem with it, she going to be left to figure it out by herself, because no man should stay in a situation like this. Until next time, fellas, choose wisely. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Peace. I'm out.